Welcome back to Tarot of My Life. I am Yasmin, and on this channel what I do is share my spiritual journey. I had my awakening just a few months ago, and I just wanted to have a video log of somewhere where I can share my spiritual journey with people who are also at the same stage of their spiritual journey as me. How I see it is that you will probably be able to relate more to what I'm going through right now than somebody who is years and years and years down the line. Even though we can talk a lot from their experience, we're going through the same thing here, okay? So yeah. And the other thing I want to say is that my videos are not planned. I just sit and talk about whatever it is that I feel like talking about that day. And today what I want to talk about is the instruction, Living the Life Your Soul Intended by Ainslie MacLeod. Now, with this book, what Ainslie MacLeod has done is he has worked with his guides to help people discover their soul's age, soul type, past life fears and talents, so that you are able to live the life your soul is your soul intended currently. Now, something that is really interesting for me is learning about past lives, because there is a direct impact your past life has on you today. So for example, he talks about past life fears in this book. So you might have a phobia of something, and just a fear of something, and you don't know why. It's just always been there. Or you might in your mind be able to identify the reason why, something from your childhood that caused this fear to come up. But in actual fact, how I see it and what I think that Ainslie MacLeod talks about, even on his Instagram post, if you read his, if you follow him on Instagram, your past, something happened in your past life to cause this fear in your life today, which to be honest is really interesting. So if you're able to identify that, my hair is just sticking up and all over the place. So if you're able to identify, where in your past life, how this fear started or why it's there, you'll be able to, I think, maybe come to terms a lot better with how to deal with this fear in your current life. So I wanted to talk about what I have learnt about myself through this book so far. So far I've worked through two sections, and that is soul age, and it says on the back, determining how it shapes your beliefs and behaviours, and your soul type. Are you a spiritualist, a thinker, a creator? What your soul type reveals about your true self. So that's where I'm at the moment. So if I just start with the first section, which is where you can identify your soul's age. What Ainslie has done is he worked with his guides and his spirit guides to identify 10 soul ages. Let me just have a drink. I'm going dry already. Okay, so there are 10 soul ages. So it goes through levels, and you can actually repeatedly live through the same level until you actually complete it and move on to the next one. So you can have many lifetimes on one soul level. Okay, so the young soul chain is from level 1 to level 5. The old soul chain is level 6 to level 10. Now what this book does is it goes through each of the levels. You have literally about a page and a half or so of going through each of the levels, and he gives you the risks and advantages of each level as well. So for example, if I tell you about the young soul, so a level 1 soul, which is what I've got right in front of me, the advantage will be identification, and the apprehension is the risk. So if I then go to the back of this section, which is where I was able to identify my soul's age. Now what Ainslie asks you to do is, he's got a little meditation in here, so he goes through that, and he asks you to work with your spirit guides to identify what each of the section, the section that you're working on. So the first one is soul age. So I worked with my guides to identify my soul's age. So at the back of this section, what there is he gives a detailed, through this chapter, he gives a detailed information for each soul age, and then it gets to the end, and then he's got it listed with keywords next to each soul age. So if I just go through this these keywords, so level 1, keywords here are isolation, apprehension, simplicity, naivety. Level 2, fundamentalism, nationalism, conservatism, discrimination. Level 3, church, community, conservatism, conformity. Level 4, religion, aspiration, morality, conservatism. Level 5, ambition, materialism, power, mainstream views. Level 6, unity, social justice, drama, self-questioning. Level 7, complexity, curiosity, creativity, intensity. Level 8, sophistication, liberalism, environmentalism, activism. Level 9, spirituality, self-improvement, healing, idealism. Level 10, altruism, connection, eccentricity, and inertia. So after working with my guides, I learned that my soul age is 9. So I'm actually quite an old soul, which was, in a way, it does actually make sense. So for level 9, again, it said spirituality, which makes sense, self-improvement, healing, and idealism. I do think that all of these, these keywords, they do make a lot of sense when I apply them to my life and think about my own life. So for the section of level 9, it says the advantages are self-improvement, and the risk is preoccupation. I won't go through reading the entire chapter to you for this, the entire section for this level, but it does say that, because there has been so many lives that of my soul age that I've already been through, and obviously there's going to be loads of trauma then, loads of heartbreak, grief, heartache that will be behind me. At my age, at my level, soul level, it's likely that you will have a lifetime in therapy, because obviously there's so much that my soul age has already been through an experience. I've brought it through into this life, and now I need to work through those things in order to, be able to live a happier life, and it then goes on to say that the illusion that we have lived throughout our lives, let me just have another drink, I'm just getting so thirsty today. So this illusion that we have, as a level 9 soul, the illusion that I have lived through or throughout the past, it loses its grip completely, and spirituality is something that it becomes very important, and that's what I've actually found for myself with this channel as well. If it wasn't important to me, I wouldn't have actually made this channel, to be able to share my awakening and my spiritual journey with you lot. And it also says that more than ever before, they recognise that religion and spirituality are two very different things. I noticed that in the younger soul ages, religion, and it doesn't just have to be religion, but they look for things, a group of people that they can actually relate to, and they can probably feel like they belong there, and you know, that need for belonging, that need for feeling safe and secure around people who they really relate to, and they probably don't want to, you know, be, especially a really young soul, I don't think they want to be part of, they feel more comfortable in smaller groups, not, you know, going to bigger cities and things like that. That comes later on in the young soul sort of change. So level 5 or something, level 4 or 5 is where they feel like they can actually step out and are more confident, I think, with much more intense things going on in their lives, and much more powerful, and yeah, things like that, if that makes any sense. Now what I did after that, so I learnt that my soul age is level 9. After this, we go to soul type. Again, it goes through 10 soul types. So what the soul types are: the helper. Let me just have another drink. So the 10 soul types. The helper, the caregiver, the educator, the thinker, the creator, the performer, the hunter, the leader, the spiritualist, and the transformer. So what Ainslie and his guides wanted us to learn here is how our soul type influences us today. So we have the soul type, and there's a primary influence, and there's also a secondary influence. So when he goes through again, you know, all of the sections, and there's an advantage and risk for each of the soul types again here. And then it gets to the end of this section where again you work with your guides to find out your soul type and your primary and secondary influences. And what I was able to learn about myself is that my soul type is helper, and the focus of this is service, and the trait is dedication and stoicism, if I said that right. My primary influence is again a helper, so the focus is what you look at here, and that is service. And then my secondary influence is creator, and for the secondary influence it says you look at the traits. So the traits of the creator is sensitivity and idealism. Oh, anyone want any ice cream? Should I just pause a second so that ice cream man? Oh, he's gone. Okay. So so what I found here was I was actually quite surprised, I think, here as well. I mean, I was surprised that my soul age was quite old, a level 9 soul, which actually does make sense when I think about it. But my soul type, I was expecting it to be caregiver, because I work in the caring environment, and for some reason it's the only type of job that I've ever been able to get so easily. It's almost like it's meant for me. But I'm actually a helper, which makes sense, I guess, because the focus of the helper is service. And I have actually provided, so I provide at the minute a service for tarot readings. That's actually very helpful, isn't it? And then I've provided creative service in the past. So my degree was in photography. I worked as a photographer for a little while. I don't do that anymore, but that was a creative service that I actually offered to people. So I guess this helper and creator, you know, soul types and influences, they make a lot of sense to me in this life, which I am very happy about. Oops. So working through this book, I have noticed that it does make a lot of sense. If I just go through my soul type, and I'll give you the advantage and risk. So for the helper type, My advantage is service and my risk is submission. And then the creator type, the advantage creativity and the risk is distraction. So yeah, I do actually get distracted with a lot of new ideas. When I'm working on one project, I just want to stop it so I can start this other idea. So there's loads, I'm always writing loads of lists of ideas that I get while I'm working on a project. How many sips of drinks have I had through this video? So yeah, that is what I've worked through so far in this book. The next section of the book, the next chapter is about finding your mission. And I guess this then relates to what my purpose will be. I guess I can find out what my purpose is just by, yeah, it says missions, your life's purpose. It's interesting. I really like this book because underneath each section of the heading, so for this one that I'm looking at now, it's number 4, the door to achievement, and then missions, your life's purpose. So that's what it's going to go over next. But then there's Ainslie's, there's a quote from Ainslie's guides, and on this one it says, missions are the soul's way of giving each lifetime a focus. The purpose of any life can be discovered by investigating its mission. So I think it's really cool how he's got quotes and, you know, sections where he has got information and quotes written directly from his guides who he worked with to create this book. So that's what I'm at the moment. So just to recap, by reading this book, working my way through this book, the instruction, Living the Life Your Soul Intended by Ainslie MacLeod, I have so far learned that my soul level is, my soul's age is level 9. And I am a helper and creative type, which makes sense considering all the stuff that I have done in my life so far. The next one, so I'm going to find out my missions, but also my life's past life fears are also going to be discovered, and my talents as well. So yeah, that's it for now. Once I've gone through the rest of the book, I will be able to tell you more about what I've learned. But yeah, I do really highly recommend this book to you if you want to learn more about past life. I do think past life is such an interesting thing to learn about when you are having your awakening. So yeah, this book, buy it. I think I got it off Wordery. Can't remember. It's either Wordery or Book Depository. But yeah, there you go. I will update you with the rest of what I learn about myself and my soul's age and my soul's purpose, missions, everything, once I've gone through some more sections of this book. And yeah, but we're 18 minutes in. That's all for now. I will see you in my next video. Bye. Oops.